All right, everybody, welcome back. Happy Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Ilhan Omar, remember her, has stepped up and joined the rest of her radical friends as they bitch and moan about the positive and immediate changes that Trump is making to our country, and they are better, aren't they, folks? When speaking about immigration, Omar gave us quite possibly one of the best lines of the week. Listen to this clown show, her true feelings completely unintentionally.
The Trump administration's immigration policy is a threat to immigrants like criminals.
Well, we got plenty more to discuss, so as always, let's react. Great football team, great football coach, great quarterback, in fact, but not such a great university. The University of Colorado just became the first American school to try and defy Trump's anti-DEI wishes. Instead of simply listening to the president and doing away with their DEI department, they're still pushing the same BS, just under a different name, and they call it the Office of Collaboration. Office of Collaboration. You know, get on board the Trump train, Colorado. Come on, I know you think you're a purple state, but come on, it's over. Trump won. Trump's sweeping cultural changes have the mega libs in shock. The thought of actually having to work for a paycheck in person at an office 5 days a week is simply just too much for the simple liberal mind to bear. Let's all enjoy a classic liberal meltdown about simply having to go to work.
As a government employee, what's so ironic about all of this shit going on with Trump making us go in person 5 days a week to promote efficiency, and also establishing the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE. What's really funny is because of all of this news and all of the change in policy, we are yapping more at work. We are trying to digest everything that's going on. We cannot get any work done because of how much information intake that existing in this administration requires.
So God forbid she's got, I think it's a she. You never know with the hair color. By the way, if you're listening on radio, there's a bunch of hair colors going on there. God forbid this federal worker that you and I pay has to show up at work 5 days a week because Trump said no more work from home. By the way, 90% of the nearly 2 million people that work for the federal government, 90% were working from home. How much of your taxpayer money is being wasted by those clowns playing PlayStation instead of working? Donald Trump is in California today. He went from North Carolina to California to assess the damage caused by those wildfires and the state's overwhelming negligence. The president reportedly invited Congressman Crybaby Adam Schiff, but Schiff said, no, we've now since learned that President Trump said, in fact, I did not invite Shifty Schiff. In other news, Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski announced that she's going to vote against Pete Hegseth for Secretary of Defense. Good news is she's one of two people voting no that are Republican. They could lose one more, 3. I can actually lose 2 more, 4 to create a tie. A tie would go to Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump because the vice president would break the tie. So whatever you're going to do, Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins, doesn't matter because Pete Hegseth will be your next Secretary of Defense. Thank goodness. And now I want to follow up on one of the funniest clips from this past week. And man, you know, right now is the best time of year to be a football fan, especially in Philadelphia, because the Eagles, those Eagles, E-I-G-L-E-S, are 1 win away from returning to the Super Bowl. Of course, we all saw the city's mayor, Sherelle Parker. She couldn't even spell the team's name when leading a chant earlier in the week. She's now trying to right her wrongs and making an absolute fool of herself in doing so. Listen.
Just on the record, on today, we have to show the nation that your mayor's also a good student. So, Philly, are you ready to teach your mayor? Yeah! Teach your mayor how do we spell Eagles?
Yeah, because when she did it, it was E-S-L-G-S-E-S. No wonder the majority of students graduating high school in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia public school system, aren't proficient in English, the majority of them, when the mayor can't even spell the team's logo, mascot, football team, E-G-S-L-E-S, she said. All right, in 2021, Goya launched Goya Cares, a global initiative to protect children and educate children on mental health. Goya Cares is providing schools and community centers with a preventative education curriculum and a free assembly that includes the viewing of the Goya Cares movie called Press Pause. Press Pause is intended to raise awareness regarding mental health issues, abuse, and bullying among children, teens, and in our communities. Press Pause is an educational film following 15-year-old Sofia Rodriguez as she navigates adolescence, self-doubt, an abusive relationship amid her parents' turbulent divorce, set within the cultural context of her Hispanic family. The film explores her discomfort with unwanted attention from her uncle and the pressures of maintaining a facade of perfection in high school. It introduces the Press Pause campaign promoting kindness and advocacy, highlighted by Sofia leaving a note saying, "You matter," for a bullied peer. The film encourages open family communication about mental health and culminates in Sofia's transformative realization of her right to seek help. Through the power of empathy and small acts of kindness, Press Pause displays the importance of being proactive in supporting one's community and underscores the critical importance of self-advocacy. All righty, folks. Donald Trump, listen, he's all over, and I got to talk about this a little bit. So since he was elected in November, the stock market's been off to the races. In fact, yesterday, the stock market, the S&P, which is a broad measure of the stock market, made an all-time record high. So a lot of people are saying, what's going on here? Did a little quick whiteboard for you. Markets love Donald Trump because, well, the S&P all-time high. AI, he spent $500 billion talking to some of the biggest AI developers in the world. He's going to bring AI to America. We're going to lead in AI in the stock market, in the markets, in the economy. Love Donald Trump because the one thing that can disrail or throw off an economy or a recovery or a rally is inflation. And the two things Donald Trump has vowed to do: bring down energy costs. Number one, drill, baby, drill. He said it right after he raised his hand. And yesterday, Donald Trump said something very important. He said, I'm going to push the Fed to lower interest rates. Now, this is something presidents have steered away from in the past. Some have, but some have not. But to push the Fed to lower interest rates, it's very, very important. Lower interest rates means higher stock prices. Now, you have to be careful with inflation, but typically, a president doesn't get involved. So if you have a lower energy cost and lower interest rates, the economy is going to do great. And the people who know, the people who are the Wall Street money knows absolutely Donald Trump is onto something here. And what do you think? Why do you think things like Wall Street getting in line to come meet Donald Trump is happening now? They're on board too. So get on the Trump train, folks. Truth bomb. And just when you think it can't be more savage, it does. Ready for this? Argentina's president, Javier Milei, traveled all the way to Davos, Switzerland, that's over 7,000 miles, to tell the New World Order clowns that the transgender agenda has got to stop, and told a most likely shocked audience that LGBT, ready for this, quote, gender ideology constitutes plain and simple child abuse. They are pedophiles. Milei said that right in front of those clowns. Perfect. Beautiful. That's a long way to travel just to berate the leftist global clown posse. But wait, there's more. Wait until you see how President Trump skewered the crowd virtually from D.C. Let's get into it. I know it's hard to fully absorb the magnitude of this week, but just think about this. On Monday, President Trump was finally inaugurated for the second time, and every day since then, he signed executive orders, given press conferences, delivered speeches. President Trump has done more for America in just 3 days, 72 hours, than Joe Biden did in 50 years as a politician. And you don't even have to check my math on that one. But then, for about 40 minutes or so, President Trump delivered a virtual speech that very likely made these globalist clowns lose their collective appetites ahead of their whatever fancy filet mignon meal awaited for them. Take a listen to this.
I terminated the ridiculous and incredibly wasteful Green New Deal. I call it the Green New Scam. withdrew from the one-sided Paris Climate Accord and ended the insane and costly electric vehicle mandate. We're going to let people buy the car they want to buy.
Well, those must have really stung. I know the one heard. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink was in that room. Mr. ESG, Mr. We change and dictate behaviors was in the room listening. These people live and die by the ridiculous money-sucking Green New Deal. Gone now. And they need America. They need our dollars to be part of that bullshit Paris Climate Accord. Gone also. Top of it all, President Trump told the globalist gang that if they want to make more money than they've ever made before, they're welcome to make it right here in America. America first. The new tax-free haven. Move over, Switzerland. There's a new sheriff in town. Listen.
My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. We're bringing them down very substantially, even from the original Trump tax cuts. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury to strengthen our economy and pay down debt.
There he goes. Lower the taxes, make it easier to do business right here in America. That's right. But wait, there's more. Right now in the UK, believe this? They're jailing people who post anything online that the government feels or deems to be offensive. In Spain, they're calling for openly identifying everyone who posts contents. Basically, you have to have an ID before you post. Basically, government doxing everyone. The World Health Organization, the United Nations, the European Union, they all want to control what people say. Enter President Trump.
In addition, I'm pleased to report that America is also a free nation once again. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress. We have saved free speech in America, and we've saved it strongly.
And wait, there's even more. This one, the President Trump said it in his first term, and this is why the European Union has been dreading another Trump presidency.
I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago. It was only at 2%, and most nations didn't pay until I came along. I insisted that they pay, and they did, because the United States was really paying the difference at that time, and it was unfair to the United States. But many, many things have been unfair for many years to the United States.
This is a big one, folks. This is a big one. If you want to stay in NATO, you got to pay your 5%. Now, Trump brought it from 2% to 5%. We were always paying 2%, but our GDP is so big, we were covering the expenses of some of the smaller nations. And here's one. Germany, who's got a lot to worry about, was paying 1%. So we were covering the German people's entrance fee into NATO to keep their asses secure in Eastern Europe when Russia has got their eyeballs on them, taking Ukraine. Who knows? Germany, I don't know. Germany takes oil and gas from Russia. If Russia cuts them off, there'd have to be a NATO intervention. And we were covering Germany's freaking entrance fee to NATO? Are you out of your mind? It's hard to underscore how massive a moment this was after being introduced by Dr. Evil. President Trump just slapped the entire international cabal of globalist satanic pedos right in the face with his big brass balls at the World Economic Forum. Yeah, we said it. I've been waiting for this moment for 4 long years because Biden tried to do the opposite, give them everything they want, finance everything they want for nothing. They told us, they made fun of him at the G7 and the G20. Trump told them that we will no longer be ripped off and that the United States is in charge. What a way to end an incredible week. America is back, baby. You know, we often look across the Atlantic Ocean to figure out things and how things should not be doing because who wants to be more like Europe? We don't. They took in way too many illegal migrants. You remember when Germany, let's go back to Germany for a second. Spain's doing it right now, but remember when Germany took 1 million migrants a year, 1 million migrants a year coming from Syria and other places? Well, they're really regretting it right now. Invaders who not only had no interest in assimilating into the cultures they were joining, but also increased crime across Europe, skyrocketing violent crime, including murders, assault, and rapes. Rapes are running rampant in Europe right now. Those are all the direct results of the mass migration that they allowed in, the invaders that they allowed in, even though they will probably refuse to admit it. We've watched their women being raped as they sit in denial. We've watched their children being assaulted as they sit in denial. We've watched them suffer massive energy price spikes because of their Green New Deal bullshit. And Joe Biden saw all of it and thought, oh, look, that looks like a great idea. We'll have what they're having. Joe Biden and the left thought it was a great idea to bring in all of their progressive leftist BS, crime-causing, economy-killing nonsense. Now, there are new lessons to be learned. Now Europe and the rest of the world can sit back and watch America grow stronger and prosper. They can see what happens when you close up your borders, how much safer your country becomes. They can watch our economy grow, our debt come down, their tariffs can help lower our taxes and make our country richer. In essence, it's freaking America first, folks. Like it or not. Globe, we're here. We're back, baby. And they can watch and see what happens when America is for Americans, especially when the president of the United States is for America and Americans. Not like Obama, not like Biden. And not for the globalists with a clear agenda to control you and me with our own money. You know, they spent months and months painting President Trump as a fascist, a dictator who would round up his political opponents once he got back into power and hold them accountable for what they did to him. It's clear Trump has much bigger fish to fry now. While they watched him being politically persecuted, they changed the world for the worse. Wars were started. Energy was sapped. Evil regimes had their coffers filled, Iran. And the man at the center of it all, a deranged, geriatric, senile, corrupted politician, hell-bent on preventing President Trump from coming in to fix it all. He and Obama tried their best, but they failed. Now America knows, and clearly knows, the world knows the truth. Donald Trump is moving all transgender male inmates to men's prison. Now think about this for 1 second. So a dude gets caught doing something bad. He's going to prison. And he says, well, I really don't want to go to prison with all those bad dudes in prison, so I guess I'm a woman. I'm going to identify as a woman, so put me in the women's prison. So it made it easier for a lot of these tranny dudes who are actually real dudes to go to prison. Well, Trump said no more of that. This is just, I cannot wait to see how this happens. I wonder what's going to happen when these dudes go to men's prisons. You know what I'm saying? Well, we'll find out. Bolling out.